So I think on my dad's side of the family, alcohol was something that was more used on occasion like holidays and uh, social events during the 60s and 70s, or mostly at family gatherings. And also for my father, after his work was through, or during a party, they would have parties after work, and there was a popular bar that him and his friends would go to. And also, my dad, he was a musical person, so he could play the piano. So what it was my parents got together, and they would entertain their friends, and they would serve drinks, and also, you know, they kept alcohol in the home regularly. There was wine, or there was beer, or there was vodka. Um, Most of the time available in the house. And as youngsters growing up, me personally, there was times when, especially when I became a teenager, and I found that when I drank alcohol, it made me less socially inept. At least I felt as if I was more extroverted. It would give me the ability to be more of an extrovert and be able to like feel better when I was with other people that I knew in school. So it kind of brought me out of that introverted state, and I became more lively, more gregarious, um, more being fun, having more fun with the other people that I was with. So not only did alcohol serve as a means for becoming less introverted, becoming more extroverted, it gave me a feeling, at least momentarily, of being in control. Um, and that it was regularly available, and it was acceptable for, at least in my social circles in school growing up, to be to get drunk. But if you could get drunk and not be stupid, or do or hurt yourself, or hurt anybody else, or make a fool out of yourself, but not drunk to the point where you're passing out. But that was acceptable socially, and as a teen, we would find places to go that were not where there were no adults around. So it was an unadult, not adult supervised situations where there was alcohol available. An older person would buy the alcohol for us, and we'd meet at places out in the in isolated places and drink as kids. And that became regularly done on the weekends or on holidays. And having older cousins that would provide alcohol too, and in my later teens, they got to be, where um, there were times when I'd drink and I'd feel good, and then I assumed that, well, when I was losing that feeling and I was coming down off being drunk, that I could drink more and get the feeling back and maintain that buzzed feeling while I was in a social situation. And what would happen on occasion, I would get really, really drunk and then I would pass out, or a few times I would get really drunk and then I would like act belligerent and become mean or aggressive, and raise my voice, and create a scene, and then I would become embarrassed and then wake up the next morning with a hangover, or have gotten in a fight with someone. So those were a few times that happened. It was like it backfired on me. It was using the alcohol, and my intention was using the alcohol to become more friendly, more gregarious, to get along better with the people I was with, so that I wasn't alone. I didn't want to be alone as a teenager. I wanted to be part of a group. So it was important to me, and in order to be part of the groups, that the people that were accepting me, they would accept me if I was doing what they were doing, which was drinking and also using marijuana on occasion. Now, marijuana was never really a problem. The biggest problem well, because my friend's dad was a police officer, I think we were able to get away with a lot more than other kids as far as when marijuana was around. It was very secretive about that. We were, as kids, there was drug going out and buying the marijuana in cars with other groups of guys that we'd all split the cost of a lid. We'd get like a five-fingered dime bag of weed and split it up. Of course, the pot wasn't like really potent pot. It wasn't buds. It was leaves mostly. And marijuana back then in the late 70s, yeah, it was imported. So you get marijuana from Mexico or Colombia or Venezuela or different parts, and or sometimes from Asia. And so it was different kinds of marijuana. It wasn't like the same. It wasn't like the marijuana today. So that happened. It wasn't a regular thing. It was once in a while. Or a cousin would have some. We'd all get together and go out somewhere in the woods or get some beers and smoke, and laugh, or go out to a friend's house and play chess. Or he had a tree house too. We'd smoke up there. There was a bridge we'd all go to and meet at, or at the beach, or somewhere. But generally, the times that I was just smoking grass, it was never any. I would never get lose control over my behavior. It was an alcohol that I would overuse it, and I would get to the point where I would get intoxicated, and then I would lose my ability to reason to myself, saying, "Well, I've had enough to drink, and I'll just deal with coming down and being hungover and stop drinking." I wouldn't get that way. I would get more. I got to get more alcohol so I can keep buzzed, because I don't want to come down off of it. I like that feeling, which was only a few minutes, but and then that feeling terrible for a long time, and then feeling good for that little bit of time. It seemed like it was worth it. But there was one time that I went to the beach in my car, and then I had a bottle of wine with me. I was kind of upset that somebody that I was friends with turned me away and didn't want to be my friend anymore. So I got kind of mad, and I got a bottle of wine, a port wine, and I went to the beach in my car in the late afternoon. And went down to the beach and sat there and drank the whole bottle of wine. And then I went back and got in my car, and I crashed my car into the side of the road, into the curb, and I ruined my car. It was junk. So that was one event that, it should have been a wake-up call for me then, to know, hey, I have a problem with alcohol, that I probably shouldn't drink again, that this isn't worth it. Even if I drink 100 times and 99 times I'll have a good time, but that one time I'll have like a bad experience. It shouldn't have been. I should have realized that it wasn't worth it for me to go to take that risk, even though I wouldn't have any friends, because nobody would want to hang out with me because I didn't drink with them. That the people that liked me, that I knew in school, that was. So anyhow, if you're a youngster out there and you've drank to the point where you got into trouble, or you passed out, or you hurt yourself, or you embarrassed yourself, then it might pay you in the long run to realize that you could be an alcoholic, and that the price you're going to pay for not drinking is you're not going to have those friends. So the friends you think you have now, if you quit drinking and you never drink again, you may lose those people as friends. So, and that you might go to like a wedding, or you might go to a social function, or a job function, or somewhere where other people are drinking, and you'll be left out because you're not at the bar drinking with the boss and the buddies at work. You'll be like at home doing something else. So you might be left out of social circles at your job. And that's just the price you're going to have to pay. Is it that worth that, or that you might end up drinking too much and crashing your car, or hurting, or getting into a horrible accident, or getting arrested, or having something horrible happen to you, having your wife divorce you, or something that could happen because of the results of using alcohol and you're abusing it, because you're just not somebody that can have one or two drinks and then stop. Or you're not somebody that can get a buzz and get a little bit drunk and have fun and laugh and be happy and have a good time and not have anything bad happen to you. You're not one of those people. You're one of those people that 9 out of 10 times it's okay, but that one time you're going to like everything. It'll be horrible. You'll like embarrass yourself, you'll get loud, you'll get arrested, you'll get hurt, or you'll hurt somebody else. So it might be the best thing that you can do is to take my advice and go, if I never drink alcohol again, if I completely avoid alcohol out of my body and never drink again, then it could totally change your life. You'll have more money, you'll be healthier, people will respect you more, your reputation will be better. You'll avoid all these personal problems that you would have gotten into if you had continued to use and potentially abuse the alcohol. So anyhow, that's more of my thoughts about alcohol, and why, if you're especially a youngster, then you could be very, very, very successful if you take my advice and never use alcohol again in your life. It'll really save you from going through a lot of grief, heartache, and expense, and you'll protect your reputation. Thanks for listening. Bye.